And you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants will be taking on the 0-16 Philadelphia Eagles. And why are the Philadelphia Eagles 0-16? Because they suck. They always suck. They suck this year. They're going to suck Saturday, and they're always going to suck. The Philadelphia Eagles suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there, anybody at all, going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Or if anybody's going to spend any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always try to do, shoot my mouth off about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, just feel free. Throw it in the chat box. I check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes, right? So something gets put in there. I see it. I respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away on this divisional round playoff week for the New York Football Giants. Before we get started, anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the absolute world to me. The top link in the description box takes you to like my membership page. I got 3 different membership offers. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third one is called the Gridiron. Each one has their own little perks to them. There's loyalty badges, which are pretty cool. There's 8 different loyalty badges. Each one is a different Giants helmet. Now, the older the Giants helmet is, the longer you've been a supporter of my channel. If you get the leather helmet, boy, you've been a supporter of my channel for a long, long time. So there's 8 of them. They're pretty cool. There's also 4 different emojis. Eventually, there will be a 5th one coming out, but there's 4 different emojis right now. I had them made up on Fiverr. I get a kick out of them every time I look at them. They're pretty funny. You can use them, I guess, in the chat box or if you're making a comment or something like that. So they're there for you to use too. But anybody who wants to help support my channel, once again, it would mean the absolute world to me. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or I put out a video, whatever, you'll be notified, and it's free of charge. As of right now, my live count, I'm at 4,871 subscribers. Hopefully by the end of the weekend, I might be close to almost 5,000 subscribers, which I didn't think I'd ever get anywhere close to. But what did I do? I started today off at 4,839. So I've got what? 41. So I've gotten 32 subscribers so far today with still some time left. So I might get another 40 or so subscribers today. So 4,871. I'm closing in on 5,000 subscribers, and that is absolutely freaking amazing. I said I didn't think that'd ever happen. Ever happen. And finally, also in the description box below, there are 2 links. Okay. The top link, it takes you to a group. Okay. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very, very original. I know everything is it's all pretty much the same. The YouTube channel is called the Gridiron. All right. I got a Facebook group, which is called the Gridiron. And then I got a YouTube page, which I'm going to talk about in a minute as well, too, which is called The Gridiron. Now, right now, there's over 2,000 members. Okay. And the thing is I put stuff in here. What do I do? What would you say? Every day I put in like 10 or so, if not more, items in the group, and the cool thing about it too is that if you become a member, you can put stuff in there as well too. So every day there's 10 to 20 new, either it's a picture, a post, a video, or something going in here every day, right? And then also in the description box as well too. Okay, there's another link. It takes you to a page. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very, very original. There right now there's 552 people who like it, and there's over 1,800 people who are following it. Probably by the end of this weekend, I'll probably be up to around 1,900 people following it. I mean, it seems like every few days I'm going up like another 100 followers or so. So probably after this weekend, I'll probably be up at over 1,900 followers. Now, I'm the group administrator on the New York Giants, the Gridiron, the page, okay, the Facebook page. So I'm the only one to put stuff in there. But, it's the same thing with the group. I put 10 to 15 items, probably at least 10 items every day in there. And it's like, it takes me half an hour to an hour every day. So between the YouTube channel, the Facebook group, and the Facebook page, I'm constantly putting stuff in. I'm spending probably at least 3 hours a day doing that stuff. I don't commingle. So basically, whatever I put on the page, I don't put in the group and vice versa. You know what I mean? So if you go to the page and you like and you become a follower, and you go to the group and you become a member, there's 10 to 20 at least, pictures, posts, and videos every day. Okay. And as always, I said, if you're not satisfied, your money back guarantee. Okay. So, go to the page and the group and like them and follow them and all that stuff, and you'll get a boatload of New York Giants information every day. Now, with all that said, what we got is, I'll tell you what, looking good. We're looking good, especially as far as, injury-wise, okay, might I say. Now, Azeez, of course, he seems like he's the only one who is, he always seems to be, guy injured as pretty much as much as possible. He's injured a heck of a lot. Let me tell you what. I think he's only played 238 snaps so far this season. Guy can't seem to catch a break, but he is he's questionable. Okay. Thankfully, at least not doubtful. Okay. But he is questionable. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Now, the Eagles have one guy out. They got Avonte Maddox, a cornerback, with his toe that's out. So that's big. Okay. All right. But the Giants got Azeez Ojulari with his quad. Apparently, he's the only member of the New York Giants on the team final injury report prior to Saturday's divisional round playoffs. So he's questionable. All right. Now, this is, questionable. This is for all the marbles. You lose, you're out. So I'd be hard pressed if he's questionable that he's not going to play. Now, how many snaps can he get in there and be effective? Well, I'll have to wind up waiting and see on that one. Who knows? But starting quarterback Fabian Moreau was placed on in the final 2 minutes of the Giants wildcard game against the Vikings by Cordell Flott. But he's not on the injury report. Moreau was on the field during the early portion of the practice. Open to the meeting on Thursday. Flott, a third-round pick, had a key pass breakup against the Vikings, right? Without question, all right, the Giants seem relatively healthy going in. All right, which is good. All right, the Eagles are also pretty healthy too. They have a couple of guys that are going to be playing, right, who are definitely hurt. A couple of key contributors who are definitely hurt without question, right? Lane Johnson, he needs surgery to repair. He has something torn by his groin or something like that. It's going to require surgery. Okay, he's going to play. So, he would play if he had no legs. If he had his head chopped off, okay, and he was bleeding to death, right, and his legs cut off and his arms were cut off, he'd still be out there playing. So, it is what it is. You get him and Kelsey, okay. They're absolute warriors. Lane Johnson's huge. He's an unbelievable player, phenomenal player, all this, everything. But how effective he's going to be, who knows? It's the same thing with Jalen Hurts, okay. He's had a problem with his shoulder, right? His shoulder arm still is hurt. All right. If he gets out of this game and the Eagles wind up winning, the Giants might bang up the shoulder some more. So he's just have to wait and see. If he makes it to the championship game, he's probably going to be hurt even more. And then either the Cowboys and the 49ers are going to bang up his shoulder some more. And if he wants to get into the Super Bowl, so he's hurting. All right, without question, he's hurting. So the Eagles have a couple of guys that are going to be playing who are going to be who are banged up. Okay, without question. All right, which plays me into my next point, which is the Giants' defense. What can the Giants' defense do? All right, to possibly slow down this, seems like 9-headed monster of the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, they just got a lot of guys. Now, once again, it's all the theory of relativity. Everything's relative, right? Jalen Hurts, has MVP. Okay. Well, why? Well, he has the best offensive line of football in front of him. That kind of helps, He's got Dallas Goedert, who's a very, maybe not the best tight end in football, but he benefits from the wideouts, okay? Because you can't take him out of the game because then you'll be leaving the other guys up. So everything's all relative. Everything's all joined. Sanders, their running back, had a great season. Well, why? Well, because they have great wide receivers, great tight end, and they have the best offensive line in football. That's why, right? Jalen Hurts, once again, why does he look good? Because he has phenomenal wide receivers, the best offensive line in football, great tight end. Why is the tight end so good? Well, because they got great blocking, good quarterback. A lot of attention's taken off of Goddard. You can't double team him and take him out of the game because then they got the wide receivers wide open. Well, why are the wide receivers so good? Well, because they got a great offensive line, right? A very nice quarterback, without question, right? Put Jalen Hurts on a crappy team with a crappy wide receivers, crappy offensive line. He's not an MVP candidate. Okay, it is what it is. Like I said, but they got two phenomenal wide receivers, right? If they were like the Giants, they'd be banged up and it wouldn't be playing. The Giants have their 6th, 7th, and 8th best wide receivers. Actually, 6th and 7th. I think Richie James in the beginning of the season was wide receiver number 6. Darius Slayton was wide receiver number 7, and Isaiah Hodgins wasn't even on the team. All right. So I'll tell you what. So let's go to the Eagles. Let's take at the beginning of the season, take wide receiver number 6. Whoever was number 6, wide receiver number 7. Okay. So their first 5 wide receivers can't play. Sorry, you're injured. All right. Let's see how good you are. Okay. Are you 14-3? Nope. And then we'll give him some guy off of somebody else's practice squad, and you can put him out there too. All right, and then let Jalen Hurts run around for the ball to those guys and see how well they do. Eagles are also one of the least injured teams. I think they're like the 4th least injured team. But you also notice in the beginning of the season they had nobody hurt, nobody. But you'll start noticing toward the end of the season now they start getting some guys banged up, and what starts happening? Oh, they start losing some football games, right? So they're coming back down to earth. So they're not unbeatable. They're not the 72 Dolphins. They're a very good football team. Don't get me wrong, but they're a very good football team who didn't have any injuries. Now they're getting some injuries, okay, and then let's look what happened to them here. Is this them? Yeah. Somewhere. I had them pulled up here somewhere. Giants, Eagles, now. Boom. That's why. But I mean the Eagles losing. They lost to the to the Saints. At home, really. They lost 20-10 to the Saints. They had a backup quarterback in there, right? They lost 40-34 to the Cowboys, right? They barely beat the Giants team by 6. The Giants' 2nd and 3rd string teams by 6 points. The Eagles are, obviously they've beaten some teams. Sure, they did whoop up on a couple teams as well too, right? But the first game of the season, in the beginning, the Detroit Lions were not very good. So the first game of the season, the Eagles went into Detroit and they beat the Lions by 3 points. Whoopie-do. Very impressive. They beat the Jaguars by 8 points. The Jaguars were beating them, Jaguars were beating them early on. And then, of course, the Jaguars all of a sudden, but once again, they played, the Jaguars were on a roll toward the end of the season. The Detroit Lions were on a roll toward the end of the season. When did the Eagles play them? In the beginning of the season, when the Lions and the Jaguars were not very good. Once they started getting on a roll, that's when the Eagles didn't play them. Okay. So the Eagles, let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, the Jaguars were winning 14-0, and then basically the rest of the game they couldn't score a freaking point. The Jaguars scored with 7 minutes left to go in the game. So the Jaguars went the whole second quarter, the whole third quarter, and half of the fourth quarter and couldn't score a freaking point. And I said, why? Well, that was early in the season when they stunk. I'm not that they're a phenomenal team now, but they were not very good back then. Okay, and that's when the Eagles played them, right? And they also played the Lions in the beginning of the season when the Lions weren't very good. All right. Let's see, who else did the Eagles play here? Let's see, the Eagles beat the Arizona Cardinals by 3 points. Arizona Cardinals stink. The Eagles beat the Cowboys by 9 points. Cowboys had a backup quarterback in there. The Eagles killed the Steelers. They beat the Texans, who were like the worst team in football. They beat them 29-17, but I think it was like, the hell was it? What the hell was it at halftime? Or actually in the third quarter, it was close. The Eagles scored. I know they scored late, but it was a close game. Oh, the Eagles scored 8 points in the last quarter, and it was 21-17 going into the fourth quarter. And the Eagles scored, with 11 minutes to go. Goddard scored a touchdown. And then, the Texans just couldn't score after that because the Texans are the worst team in football, or basically the worst. So basically, the Eagles beat the 2 worst teams in football, okay? Let's see, who else did the Eagles beat? I mean, it's not, Then they lost to the Commanders, right? They beat the Colts by 1 point. The Colts stink. They had to come from behind to beat the Colts by 1 point. They beat the Packers by 7 points at home, and the Packers had Aaron Rodgers in there, and then they had Aaron Rodgers got hurt, and then the Packers brought a backup quarterback in, and the Eagles won by 7 points at home. The Eagles killed the Titans, and they killed the Giants, and after that, they beat the Bears, who were like the worst team in football, by 5 points. They lost to the Cowboys by 6 points. They lost at home to the Saints by 10 points. And then they lost to the Giants backup, second and third string teams. They beat them by 6 points. So, the Eagles are not, and like I said, they got some injuries. Okay. So they are not, well, unbeatable, shall we say. Now, I'm not saying the Giants, I'm not picking the Giants to beat them either. But, I mean, the Eagles are, they've had some things go their way this year, without question. As I said, they were not injured. First 3 quarters of the season, whatever, 12, 13, 14 games, whatever it is, they had hardly any injuries whatsoever. They were the bottom of the list as far as guys being injured. The Giants, a lot of these other teams have far more injuries than the Eagles do. But once the Eagles start to get injured, what happens? Now they're struggling. Okay, so. I said, Lane Johnson, he plays in this game. Well, if the Eagles wind up beating, Lane Johnson might even be worse in the championship game because he's injured. He needs surgery, right? And if they make it to the Super Bowl, he'll probably be even worse in the Super Bowl. Why? Because he needs surgery. I said, same thing with Jalen Hurts with his shoulder, his throwing shoulder, right? The Giants are going to bang it up a little bit. Right? Win, lose, or draw, whatever. Giants are going to bang it up. If he gets to the championship game, he's going to probably get banged up even a little bit more. So, I mean, they're just, So it's not going to be easy road for the Eagles without question. But the Giants, I mean, as far as now, with what can the defense do? Okay, try to slow the Eagles down. Well, it's not going to be easy. The Giants also, one thing with the first game of the season, between the Eagles and the Giants, and the Eagles just ran wild. They had averaged 8 yards a carry, 200 and over 253 yards, I think it was. I mean, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The one thing is, now is that, Leonard Williams did not play against the Eagles either time, basically because they rested him. Okay. The first time. I'm sorry, the last time they rested Leonard Williams. And then the first time they played, Leonard Williams did not play against the Eagles. Okay. He missed, that was week 14. No, I'm sorry. He played against Detroit, then he played Dallas, then he played Washington. Yes, I'm sorry. It was week 14. Yes. That was the game sandwiched in between the 2 Washington games, right? He played Washington. Leonard Williams played against Washington. Then we played the Eagles. He missed that game. Then he played against Washington again. Okay, so and then the last game of the season he didn't play at all because he was being rested again. So so Leonard Williams has not played against the Eagles at all this year. Okay, so that was one of the reasons. I mean, also, Leonard Williams is, I know he's going to try his heart out and this, that, and the other thing and all, but he's injured. Okay, his neck. Right, he's had some very, very, very poor tackling grades according to PFF ever since he got injured against the Cowboys in Week 12. Okay, he's had very poor tackling grades. He against the Cowboys, against the Thanksgiving game when he got injured, his tackling grade according to PFF was a 33. Then against Washington, the final next week, he graded out at a 30. All right. Then against Minnesota, the first time we played him, he graded out a 40.9. Then against Indianapolis, he graded out a 25.2. And in the game against Minnesota, the wildcard game, he graded out a 27.4 as far as tackling, okay, because he's injured. All right. He might be able to get in there and maybe be in position to make a tackle, but he's having a hard time because he's injured. He was not going to heal up until the season's over with. He won't heal up until, and hopefully heal up and be hopefully 100% until next season. No matter how much rest you give him, he's going to need months off for this to heal, hopefully, okay? So he's had some mediocre games, and you can kind of tell. I mean, some of the games in the beginning, like against Houston, he graded out at a 90. Seattle, he graded out at 80. Against the Cowboys, he graded out at 73, but then that's when he got hurt. And after that, he's had his games have dropped down, according to PFF. His overall grades have dropped down into the 50s and the 60s. Okay, so he's trying his heart out, but he's doing some struggling out there as well too. But my point is also he was not in either of the games against the Eagles. Okay, now the Eagles last time I think ran the ball 34 times. They passed it 35. They had a very, very well balanced attack. They ran a very vanilla offense. They were kind of gambling, I guess, that they ran a very vanilla offense, that Jalen Hurts wasn't going to run for the most part, and that they were going to want to beating the Giants' second and third stringers. Well, that almost backfired on them, right? Giants were kind of like an onside kick away, maybe and getting a touchdown at the end there from beating the Eagles. Because all the Giants would have to do is score a touchdown, kick an extra point, the Giants would have wound up winning the game. But Leonard Williams was not in the game. So trying to control and slow down the Eagles' rushing game is going to wind up being huge on this one. Okay. Now, one question is you don't know what's going to wind up going with Jalen Hurts. Now, if he's all intents and purposes, he's playing. Okay. Now, how much are they going to want to put on his plate? All right. The RPOs. I mean, he's very good at reading defenses. Okay, when the guys come in, he knows he's smart dude, right? Smart, intelligent dude. He's a warrior, great football player, and all this stuff. And he knows. But how much are they going to want to put on his plate? Or do they want to, make the possibility where he winds up getting injured? They want to. How many RPOs do they want to run? Right? How many times, if he starts running, is he going to get down, before he gets hit, well down way before he gets hit? I mean, what's he going to do? I mean, so it can be interesting to see as far as because that's one of the things with, the running game, the RPO, right? So you got, somebody, Sanders, maybe faking the ball to Sanders, pulling it out and taking off, right? If Kayvon comes crashing down or something, So it'd be interesting to see what the Eagles wind up doing, like with Hurts, how much they wind up letting him run as far as with the running game. But I mean, if they, anything running up the middle, right, and having Leonard Williams in there to help clog up the middle would be very, very important. I said, when we got Sexy Dexy in there, right, he's going to help clog up the middle. That's very, very important. Whoever's got the edge, right, whether it's Azeez, if Kayvon's, whether Kayvon's in there, and if Azeez is playing, right, you got to get to contain. Very, 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 very important. So trying to slow down the Eagles' running game is going to be huge. But I said, but one thing that will be in the Giants' favor this time that was not the last two times the Giants played, Leonard Williams did not play in those games. I said, unfortunately, Leonard Williams is not 100%. He's not on the injury list, okay, but his neck is not going to heal until next season. All right, so he'll be in there. But so that's going to help without question. That'll help. Okay, now whether he makes the tackles or not, we'll have to wait and see. But that will wind up helping. Azeez was in there, okay, and Kayvon were in there when the Giants and the Eagles played the first time. Azeez was not in there, obviously, and Kayvon was not in there the second time they played because the Giants put all their backs up in there. Now, Azeez had 2 sacks, okay. Now, he did well when he played the Eagles. I mean, he had apparently what they have. They got 3, according to PFF, right? He had 3 pressures. He had 2 sacks, and he had a hurry. Now, if you look at also, I mean, they're all seem to be different, right? Let's see, what do we got? He had 2 sacks, and he had 2 quarterback hits, if you go to ESPN, according to their stats. So he had some hits, but he had a couple sacks. Kayvon did not have anything. He did not have a sack. He did, however, let's see, against the Eagles. He played, but he didn't have any tackles. He had 4 pressures, though. He had 3 hurries and a hit, okay, but he had no tackles. I think he was going up maybe against, I don't know if he was going up against Lane Johnson or not. I'm not exactly sure, but he had no tackles. Okay. So he's going to need to become a better presence as far as tackling all. Because I mean, to play 55 snaps and not to record 1 tackle, we need more. We need more from that. I said, we need as much as we can get from Azeez and from Kayvon without question. They got holding the edge so nobody runs outside would be huge. Of course, Kayvon gets held on many plays. And unfortunately, the referees don't call it on Kayvon. They call it if Micah Parsons gets held around the neck, that they're throwing the flag left and right. You know what I mean? But when Kayvon, it happens with Kayvon, I don't see nothing. They're too busy worrying about the refs, too busy calling roughing the passer on Sexy Dexy when he tackles the quarterback to the ground. Well, that's 15 yards. But somebody going around Kayvon's neck when he tries to go by, that's not holding. I don't see nothing. So unfortunately, Kayvon's not going to get any calls. Maybe starting next year, maybe they'll start calling holding, when somebody's got their arm around his throat. But, we're going to need to keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket, right? I mean, as I said, it's nice to come crashing around the edge and this, that, and the other thing. But when you wind up like 2-3 yards past the quarterback, right, and Lane Johnson is just escorting you past the quarterback, Jalen Hurts can maybe go step up, right, in the pocket, okay, and or maybe run around the edge or something like that, pick up some yards, right? So very, very important to keep Jalen Hurts in the pocket. Hopefully we can push the pocket, right, with Sexy Dexy, right, and Leonard Williams push the pocket, right, and collapse it around him would be huge. So try not to let Jalen Hurts beat you with his legs. Now, as I said, it's going to be interesting to say because you don't know, what they. I mean, it's all or nothing, right? The Eagles are pushing all their chips in, obviously to win this game because they got to win the game because there is no tomorrow. But it'd be interesting to see how far they want to push the envelope with Jalen Hurts as far as him running the ball. Now, as far as the Giants trying to control the passing game, okay. Now let's not forget, okay, when they played. Let's see here. Okay. Now, obviously, Adoree Jackson, okay, did not play against the Eagles either time. Okay, he had a very, very good game against Minnesota controlling. He graded out at a 70.9, which going up against Jefferson is a pretty down. He coverage grade was a 70.9 as well, too. So he did very, very well. But let's not forget, okay, he obviously got hurt in the Detroit game, the Detroit debacle, as I like to put it, right? He got hurt there. So he missed both games against the Eagles, week 14 and week 18, right? So he never got a chance to play. I mean, that's one of the reasons why, the Eagles were walking up and down the field on the Giants. Okay, now also let's not forget Xavier McKinney, right? When did he get hurt? Well, he got hurt right after. Let's see. He got hurt. Let's see. We played Seattle. Then we had the bye week, and then boom, he's been out ever since. So he never played either. Okay, against the Eagles either time, right? Another one of the reasons, once again, why the Eagles were able to, pass at will or run at will or what, right? So now the question is, right, do you put, Adoree Jackson, say, on A.J. Brown, one-on-one, mano-a-mano, me on you, bro, right? And then do we double DeVonta Smith, right? And then maybe put Xavier McKinney on Goddard, right? Because Xavier McKinney was on Hockenson, I believe it was, right? And when we played Minnesota. So now do you try to wipe out DeVonta Smith with Adoree Jackson, and then you double A.J. Brown, and then maybe you get McKinney on Goddard. You can't double two guys, okay? So I'm just trying to say is that, what will the best thing to be, right? Be interested to see how the Giants wind up going about this. I said, because, the two times, they didn't have, anybody, of superior quality going up against the Eagles receivers in either one of the games, right? So what are they going to do with Adoree Jackson, right? Are they going to put him on maybe Brown and try to, you can't eliminate Brown, but slow him down like what they did with Jefferson, and then maybe try to double DeVonta Smith wherever he goes. There's always two guys on him, and then maybe have McKinney maybe on Goddard the way he was on Hockenson, right? I mean that sounds right. They also did a lot of blitzing, okay, on Jalen Hurts. There was a couple of times they got some guys in there free. He got the ball away. But, there were a couple of times they had a guy, I forgot, it was McLeod. I remember one of the time, it might have been McLeod. They had him blitzing, and I think Hurts, dropped back the pass. I think it was McLeod maybe came in. Hurts got rid of the ball, but then after he got rid of the ball, I think he went flying to the ground. So the Giants had a couple blitzes in there. They sent some guys in free. These are backups going up against the Eagles starters, and they got guys coming in scot-free and hitting the quarterback. Okay, so look for obviously Wink to dial up some good stuff. Now he can feel maybe a little more comfortable about dialing up some stuff as well, because now we have Adoree, right, and Xavier in there. Okay, so hopefully with Adoree, maybe he can eliminate one guy. You can't say eliminate, but slow him down, right? And then maybe we can double the other guy, and then maybe have Xavier McKinney on Goddard, right? Which would certainly help quite a bit. Yeah. The Giants, obviously, the first time they wound up playing them, they got smoked, right? They have to slow the running game down. It's tough to obviously eliminate it because the Eagles have such a very, very, Sanders is a very, very good, solid running back. He had a lot of yards and this, that, but it's all relative. Take Sanders and put him on the worst team in football with the worst offensive line, with the worst quarterback, let's see how many yards he gets. He ain't going to get many. Why? Because he's not Barry Sanders, right? Very, very good running back, without question, but it's all relative. Good offensive line, good wide receivers, helps the running back, helps the quarterback, good tight end, helps, it all works together, right? So you start taking some of those pieces out, and some of them, those parts don't look as shiny as they did, when a couple of guys get hurt and stuff like that and all that. So, but the Eagles are, they're pushing their chips into the middle of the table, because sooner or later they're going to have to pay Jalen Hurts, all right? And when he wants, it's going to want $50 million or whatever a year. A lot of the players on the Eagles team are going to go bye-bye, right? Because they can't afford to pay him. A lot of players on the team this year, won't be there next year, because I know their salary cap is not a great spot next year. So, the Eagles have got a lot of chips in the middle of the table right now. Okay. But I think the one thing too is with confidence. Still, I think the Giants are riding in on a lot of confidence. Certainly does not mean they're going to win. Yep. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie. Certainly does not mean they're going to win, but they're going in with a lot of confidence. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm ready. Oh yeah. Yep. I absolutely hate the Eagles. I mean, there was nothing better than to go in and just ruin their season. Would be fantastic. Would be fantastic. To ruin their season. Man, I love it. And then if we, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we could ruin the Eagles season and then beat the Cowboys, man, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? Oh. I mean, if we ever, I hope we do, but I mean, I don't expect it to happen. But if we were to get to the Super Bowl, it would be tough because they got some good teams. I mean, the Chiefs are really good over there, really, really good. I mean, they got some good teams over there. But I mean, obviously, you got to take. This has been the best week. Oh yeah, it is. I mean, it's nice. It's nice. I mean, even if we wind up losing Saturday night, okay. If we lose respectfully, like whatever, 24-20 or something, keep it, I mean, but the future is bright for the Giants. we got probably have 11 draft picks next season. We got a good salary cap next season, so we can sign hopefully Daniel Jones, maybe bring Saquon Barkley back, let Kenny Golladay go, restructure maybe Leonard Williams' contract, hopefully. Things are looking up for the Giants. You got to feel pretty good that as long as, we got Shane and Dable and Daniel Jones there and all and everything, the next hopefully 5 to 10 years or whatever, should be good. You got to feel pretty good, right? And you got to feel good because we got a good foundation. We got Shane there, right? He picked a good coach. I think we got Dable. Oh yeah, it really, really look good. I mean, but you got to remember now we're going up against the Eagles. The Eagles are a different breed of animal. They can put up the points like the Vikings did and can, okay? But the Eagles have a much better defense. I mean, the Vikings defense is not very good at all. Not good at all. The Eagles defense is a lot different breed of animal. They 70 sacks. They got 4 guys that have double-digit sacks. First time that's ever happened. The Giants got to be very, very careful. As far as their game plan. Can't let Daniel Jones stand in the pocket too long. If he sees an opening, he's got to take it and try to get as many yards as he can. Hopefully, pick up a first down here or there. That would be huge. Yes, better. Yeah. Any given Saturday. Oh, yeah, sure. That's why they play the games. I mean, if they knew who was going to win, you don't even why bother playing the game. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what the NFL wants. They want this parity, right? Absolutely. Now, the Giants are kind of on a roll. They got a lot of momentum going. They feel good about themselves, right? It's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season. The Eagles have taken a week off, so they're a little healthy. But the Giants have just played last weekend, so they're kind of more of on a roll than the Eagles are. We have to take advantage of any of them. Well, the thing they only had, hit hurts, hit that shoulder. Oh yeah, knock them down as much as you possibly can. Oh yeah, absolutely. They only had 1 turnover in both games. I mean, they don't turn the ball over a lot. So the Giants only turned the ball over 1 time too. Okay, in both games, which wound up being huge. But the Jalen Hurts threw 1 interception. That was Dane Belton intercepted the ball like in the end zone that killed an Eagle drive, which was huge. So but the Eagles don't turn the ball over a lot. When the Eagles lose, they turn the ball over a lot. So if we can get a few turnovers and turn them into points, that would be huge for the Giants. Because when I think the Eagles lost, I think it was to the Cowboys and I know to the Commanders, they had like a bunch of turnovers, but when the Eagles lose, that's when they turn the ball over a lot. Right. Yeah. As I said, yeah, hit hurts, hit that shoulder. Oh yeah. Just blitz them. Even if you I mean, you hate taking a penalty getting roughing the penalty passer because you took 2 steps to get to the quarterback. But man, if you can get a shot in, hit that shoulder, maybe it might be worth 15 yards. I mean, if you can get a good shot in on that shoulder, oh yeah, I'd take it. Even if it means 15 yards. Oh, you do that a couple times on his passing shoulder? Absolutely. I mean, that way I would try to blitz from this side because it's his throwing shoulder. Oh yeah, so he throws the ball, just hit him. Oh yeah, even if it's 15 yards, absolutely. Oh, yeah. And be interesting to see how often they want him to run. Because he might get hit, right? Wink has to be smart and get these guys going in defense and get some good solid. Yeah. It's try to get off the field as best you can. Be interesting to see where they put Adoree Jackson. Do they put him on like maybe DeVonta Smith, or do they put him on A.J. Brown? So if they put him on A.J. Brown, then do they have like 2 guys on DeVonta Smith, like somebody, low and somebody on top of him? Did he put Xavier McKinney on Dallas Goedert, their tight end? Because he's a very, very good tight end. He's very smart, very intelligent. He knows where the holes are at, where to go, basically just to, plop himself down and catch a ball. So he's very, very good. So be interesting to see what Wink does as far as matchups, putting the guys out there. But the 2 times that we played the Eagles this year, Adoree Jackson was not in there and Xavier McKinney was not in there. And actually, Leonard Williams wasn't in there either. The last time the guys weren't in there, obviously, because we rested all the starters. But the first time we played the Eagles in week 14, okay, Leonard Williams was not in there. Xavier McKinney was not in there. Adoree Jackson was not in there. So that's one of the reasons why the Eagles killed us in the run game, because some of the runs were up the middle where Leonard Williams was supposed to be. We had a hard time stopping them in the passing game. Why? Well, because Xavier McKinney wasn't in there and our best cornerback wasn't in there. Kind of tough to stop them, right? How was it? Well, now, right now, it just stopped raining right now. Let me check. Let me check the Weather Channel here. It's been raining here, but it did stop. I don't know what's it got here for Saturday. See, Saturday now it just says high of 40. Well, at nighttime, it says as of right now on the Weather Channel on my app. I don't know if you can see that. That's probably too bright. I'm sorry if it is. It says 20 Saturday night. It says 29 degrees. It says mainly clear skies, low of 29, winds light and variable. So I mean, it's not supposed to be bad weather. It's supposed to be good football weather. But it'd probably be like in the 30s, mid 30s to low 30s at kickoff time around 8:00. But no rain or nothing like that. But I mean, right now we haven't had any snow here at all. It's been warm enough where every time we get any precipitation coming down, like today, it's been in the 40s. So we haven't any snow here in the Philadelphia area, right? It's been all wet, very wet. It's been a very wet winter, but it's been all rain. What I'm saying? But Saturday night, it looks like it's going to be good football weather, right? Good football weather. Be safe. Well, you too. You too. But, I mean, it should be a good game. I mean, the one nice thing is the Giants are going in with a lot of confidence. And I think the last game of the season, when the Giants put their backups in there and they gave them a good contest, right, in Philadelphia, and the Eagles really had to win that game, okay, that they gave the Giants even more confidence. I mean, the game that the Giants played, week 14, wasn't that long ago. But, I think the 2 teams are a little bit different right now. I think the Giants are a lot healthier. They have a lot more confidence right now. The Eagles lost a couple games since then. They're a little banged up, right? The 2 teams seem to be kind of going in different directions, right? It certainly doesn't mean the Giants are going to win, okay? But, I think the Giants going in, especially that last game of the season, I think that they have confidence, and that's huge. It was kind of like what Michael Strahan said after the Giants played the Patriots in the final game of the 2007 season to try to knock the Patriots from becoming, trying to knock them off from being 16-0. They want to make them where they didn't win. But the Giants lost that game. But after the game, Michael Strahan said, no, we got confidence. So we went and we played. We went toe for toe with these guys. We know we can beat them. We got confidence. It's the same thing, I think, with the Giants playing the Eagles in Philadelphia. The Giants haven't won this, I think, 2013. It's been it's been a long time since the Giants have won there. Snap's going to come to the streak's going to come to an end sometime. It's not going to last forever. It could last another couple games. It could end Saturday night. You don't know. Sooner or later, that streak's going to come to an end. And I'll tell you what, it would be no better time coming to an end than beating them on Saturday night. That was a great game. Yep. Oh yeah. Yes, it was. But I'll tell you what, that would just be so phenomenal if we can beat them Saturday night and just crush their hearts. Oh, that would be awesome. And the other great thing too, I don't know if I'd want to face the Cowboys in the championship game because the Cowboys would be home, or if I'd like to see the Cowboys lose on Sunday to the 49ers. I'm not sure which one I would like to say, but I'll tell you what, if the Eagles win and the Cowboys win, that's going to be a hell of a matchup for the championship game. Or if the Giants win and the Cowboys win, that's going to be a hell of a matchup for the championship. Hell of a matchup for the championship game. Let me tell you what. Whew, boy. But I tell you what, I'm very, very excited about Saturday night. Very, very excited. Oh, yeah. Oh, I want them to lose too. Oh, yeah, I don't want them. Oh, yeah. Because you know what? I mean, around here, there's a lot of Eagle fans, obviously, because I'm about 20 minutes from Philadelphia, but there's a lot of Cowboy fans around here too. A lot of Cowboy fans, and I like nothing better than just, have them lose too, because they haven't won the Super Bowl since after the 95 season. So it's been a long time since they won the Super Bowl. So I love when they lose as well too. But the Eagles are my number one enemy. Number one. Absolutely number one. Worst enemy, the Eagles by far, because I live in this area and I got to hear about the Eagles all the time. Actually, I can't stand the Eagles. Absolutely can't stand them. The only thing that makes me kind of a little bit of a small bit of a Cowboy fan every now and then is my son likes the Cowboys. So if the Cowboys win, I'm happy for him. Right. Other than that, I can't stand the Cowboys too, but I'm happy for him. So, but Ronnie, it's been great talking to you. I'm going to be back again tomorrow night. I'm going to preview the whole game and everything, and I'm going to give you my prediction. It's been 47 minutes. Once again, thank you, Ronnie. It's good to talk to somebody. It's good to talk to somebody. Instead of just shoot my mouth off all by myself here. But I got two people watching me. So whoever's watching me, Ronnie and somebody else, thank you. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. It means the absolute world to me. And Ronnie, you too. Ronnie, you have a great night. Everybody have a great night out there, or anybody spends any time watching a replay of this. Thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.